Here is a similar problem to the previous video. We're still supposing that f, g, and h are all mappings of a set A into itself, but this time we're going to prove that if f is 1 to 1 and f composed with g equals f composed with h, then g equals h. So we're going to use some of the same proof techniques here, but we have different assumptions, so it's going to kind of lead us down a different road. So like before, let's start with what we know and write that in our proof. So first, we're going to let f, g, and h be mappings from A to A. So remember, that just means that f, g, and h, they're taking elements from A and mapping them back into A. Okay? And let's say such that f is 1 to 1, that's just a given to us in the problem, and f composed with g equals f composed with h. Okay, so like before, let's take an element x from A. So suppose x is an element of A. So f composed of g of x equals f composed of h of x. Since both g and h are mappings from A to itself and x is an A, we can write that f composed of g of x equals f composed of h of x. And just like before, let's write this in a different composition notation that will be easier for us to use. So f composed with g of x, so f of g of x equals f of h of x. From here, we need to say what assumptions were made that will let us take this one step further. Well, we know that f is 1 to 1. So if we know the definition of being 1 to 1, we know that these two things are images under a mapping. So if the images, and this here f is 1 to 1. So this is f of something. These are functions. But we know that if f of something equals f of something, to be 1 to 1, those somethings have to be equal. Because if they have the same image under a mapping under f, then they have to have the same inputs. These are outputs of the function f, and for f to be 1 to 1, the inputs must be the same. So from here, this is pretty easy. We just have to say, since f is 1 to 1, g of x equals h of x. Therefore, g equals h. And that concludes. So that one was a little easier because all we had to do is rewrite the function notation, take what we knew already in the problem, and just look at it and see, well, if f is a 1-to-1 function, then the inputs must be the same if their outputs are the same. So g equals h.